Hi. Welcome to USA Old Coins X. Today, we're diving into a world where history, courage, and art come together in the tiniest pieces of metal you can imagine. From the trailblazing words of Maya Angelou to the fearless leadership of Wilma Mankiller, from the groundbreaking flights of Dr. Sally Ride to the unwavering spirit of Eleanor Roosevelt, each Washington bicentennial quarter tells a story that goes far beyond its silver shine. We'll explore the bravery of Bessie Coleman, the cultural legacy of Edith Connolly, the determination of Voto para la Mujer, and so many others that shaped our nation's story. These aren't just coins, they are pieces of history, echoes of triumph, and symbols of change, all waiting for you to uncover. Stay with us as we reveal the stories behind 10, 12, and even more of these incredible quarters that hold the legacy of America in your hands. Top 1. When America prepared to celebrate 200 years of independence, it did not just plan parades and fireworks, it reshaped its money. And out of that historic moment was born one of the most recognizable and collectible coins in modern U.S. history, the Washington Bicentennial Quarter dollar 1776 to 1976. Close your eyes for a second and imagine holding a small piece of metal that connects you directly to the birth of a nation. This isn't just 25 cents. This is a tribute to freedom, to revolution, and to the bold spirit that began in 1776. The Washington Bicentennial Quarter carries the familiar portrait of America's first president, George Washington, but unlike regular quarters, the date boldly reads 1776 to 1976, marking 2 centuries of independence. On the reverse side, instead of the traditional eagle, you see a powerful image of a colonial drummer with a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, representing the original colonies. That reverse design was created by Jack L. Ahr, chosen through a nationwide competition, making this coin not only historic but artistically significant. Struck by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, this special quarter became part of a 3-coin bicentennial series that also included a $50 and a dollar coin. But today, we focus on the quarter, the coin that millions of Americans carried in their pockets, unaware that some examples would one day become treasures worth a fortune. Let's talk about the precise physical details that make this coin so distinctive. The Washington Bicentennial Quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams in its standard copper-nickel-clad version, the same weight as regular Washington quarters introduced in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it that familiar size we instantly recognize when flipping through change. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, a sturdy, balanced dimension that gives it durability while maintaining elegance. The standard circulation strike composition is a copper core with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, commonly referred to as cupronickel clad. However, special collector versions were struck in 40% silver, primarily at the San Francisco Mint, making those examples far more desirable among collectors. When you hold a bicentennial quarter, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a carefully engineered blend of weight, size, and composition designed to last decades in circulation while commemorating 200 years of American history. Now let's explore the mint marks, because this is where the excitement begins for collectors. Bicentennial quarters were struck at 3 primary facilities. Coins without a mint mark were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Those bearing a small d mint mark under Washington's portrait were struck at the Denver Mint. And the coins with an S mint mark were produced in San Francisco, often as proof for special silver collector issues. The mint mark is located on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. While hundreds of millions were produced overall, condition and mint origin can dramatically affect value. Proof coins from San Francisco were struck with specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted design details. These coins were not intended for circulation but for collectors, often sold in protective cases. High-grade examples, especially those with deep cameo contrast or rare minting errors, can command astonishing prices in today's collector market. But what truly sets the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter apart is its historical symbolism. The obverse still features the iconic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. For the bicentennial edition, however, the reverse was completely redesigned. The colonial drummer boy stands proud, symbolizing the spirit of the American Revolution. The torch of victory beside him represents freedom and enlightenment, while the ring of 13 stars reminds us of the original 13 colonies that dared to break away from British rule. The dual date 1776 to 1976 boldly stretches across the obverse, instantly identifying this coin as a commemorative issue. Unlike most commemorative coins that are produced for a limited time and in limited quantities, the bicentennial quarter was released into general circulation, meaning millions of Americans unknowingly carried a piece of patriotic celebration in their pockets during the mid-1970s. Production of the bicentennial quarter actually began in 1975, and interestingly, no quarters dated 1975 were ever minted. Instead, all quarters struck in 1975 and 1976 carried the dual date 1776 to 1976. This makes the bicentennial quarter unique in modern U.S. coinage. The United States Mint wanted to ensure that the commemorative design was widely distributed and recognized throughout the bicentennial celebration. As a result, production numbers soared into the hundreds of millions across all mints. While that high mintage makes circulated examples common, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A heavily worn quarter found in pocket change may be worth only face value, but a pristine, uncirculated example with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no contact marks can be significantly more desirable. Add a rare minting error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, and suddenly you are no longer talking about spare change, you are talking about serious money. Collectors carefully examine bicentennial quarters under magnification, searching for crisp drummer details, sharp lettering, and flawless surfaces. The drummer's facial features, the torch flame, and the fine lines in the colonial uniform are key areas to inspect. On high-grade coins, these elements appear fully struck and sharply defined. Luster, that radiant cartwheel shine that moves across the surface when tilted under light, plays a huge role in grading. Coins graded mint state 65, 66, 67, or higher by professional grading services can command impressive premiums. Proof coins are judged by clarity of mirror fields and contrast between frosted devices and reflective backgrounds. A deep cameo-proof bicentennial quarter in perfect condition is a sight to behold, like a tiny silver mirror carrying the heartbeat of 1776. Let's build the suspense, because this is what every collector wants to know. Can a Washington bicentennial quarter really be worth a life-changing amount of money? The answer is yes, under the right circumstances. While most circulated examples remain common, rare high-grade specimens, especially those with unique errors or exceptional preservation, have stunned the collecting world. Imagine finding a nearly flawless silver-proof bicentennial quarter with deep cameo contrast, perfectly centered strike, and pristine surfaces graded at the very top of the scale. Combine rarity, demand, historical importance, and condition, and the value can skyrocket. Auction records have shown that extraordinary examples can reach astonishing figures. And when collectors compete for the finest known specimen, bidding wars can push prices into levels that seem unbelievable. For a 25-cent coin, you have a Washington bicentennial quarter 1776 to 1976. Take a closer look. Check the mint mark. Weigh it if possible, 5.67 grams for clad versions. Measure its diameter, 24.26 millimeters. Notice its thickness, 1.75 millimeters. Examine its composition, copper nickel clad for regular strikes, 40% silver for special collector issues. Look at the drummer boy's details. Inspect the torch and stars. Tilt it under light to see if original mint luster remains. Because sometimes, hidden among ordinary change, extraordinary value waits quietly for someone curious enough to look, and now we arrive at the moment everyone has been waiting for. While most Washington bicentennial quarters are worth face value or modest collector premiums, a rare, high-grade, perfectly preserved example with exceptional characteristics has reached a staggering value of $200,000. Yes, a single quarter, originally worth just 25 cents, can be worth $200,000. That is the breathtaking power of rarity, condition, and history combined in one small, shining piece of metal. Top 2. In 2022, something remarkable happened in American coinage. A new chapter began for the Washington Quarter series, blending history, poetry, civil rights, and modern design into one small yet powerful piece of metal. The Washington Bicentennial Quarter Dollar Maya Angelou 2022 is not just another coin, it is a symbol of progress, recognition, and cultural transformation. When you first hold this quarter in your hand, it may look familiar in size and weight, but its message feels entirely new. On one side, the steady, timeless portrait of George Washington reminds us of the nation's founding. On the other side, the powerful image of Maya Angelou, arms uplifted, bird in flight behind her, radiates strength, hope, and artistic freedom. This coin marks the beginning of the American Women Quarters program, honoring influential women who shaped the United States. And among them, Maya Angelou stands first, a poet, author, and civil rights activist whose words moved generations. This is not just pocket change. This is history pressed into metal. Let us begin with the essential coin information that collectors and enthusiasts always want to know. The 2022 Washington Quarter featuring Maya Angelou continues the long-running Washington Quarter denomination, first introduced in 1932. The obverse design in 2022 features a refreshed portrait of George Washington based on an original sculpt by Laura Garden Fraser, offering a slightly different look compared to earlier decades. The reverse showcases Maya Angelou with her arms raised, inspired by her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, symbolizing freedom and resilience. This coin was struck by the United States Mint as part of a multi-year program recognizing extraordinary American women. The denomination remains 25 cents, but its cultural value feels far greater. This quarter entered general circulation, meaning millions of Americans could encounter it in everyday transactions, creating a moment of surprise and reflection whenever someone noticed the new reverse design. Now let's talk about the technical specifications that define this coin's physical identity. The 2022 Maya Angelou Washington Quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams, maintaining consistency with modern clad quarters produced since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, the same standard size that allows it to fit seamlessly into vending machines, coin rolls, and collections alike. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, giving it durability for circulation while preserving the intricate details of its design. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel-clad format, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This layered structure gives the coin its silvery appearance while ensuring long-lasting strength. When viewed from the edge, you can see the distinct copper core line, a signature feature of modern U.S. clad coinage. This particular version carries the mint mark P, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse side of the coin, near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the presence of the P mint mark is important, as mint origin can influence rarity depending on mintage numbers and condition survival rates. While Philadelphia typically produces large quantities for circulation, high-grade examples with sharp strikes and minimal contact marks can become highly desirable over time. Coins struck for circulation often endure heavy wear, so uncirculated pieces found in original rolls or preserved immediately after release are especially sought after by serious collectors. The artistry of this coin deserves careful attention. On the obverse, the updated Washington portrait presents a dignified and refined look, facing right, with inscriptions including Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 2022. The reverse is where the coin truly transforms into a storytelling canvas. Maya Angelou is depicted with open arms, a gesture that suggests both welcome and strength. Behind her, a soaring bird and rising sun rays echo themes of liberation and poetic expression. The design captures not just a likeness, but a spirit. It invites the holder to remember the impact of literature, activism, and courage. The detail in her facial expression and posture reflects deep respect for her legacy, making this coin far more than a standard circulating quarter. Beyond its appearance, this quarter holds historical significance as the first release in the American Women Quarters program. That fact alone gives it a foundational importance in modern numismatics. Whenever a new series begins, the first coin often carries added collector interest. Just as earlier commemorative issues gained recognition decades after release, the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter represents the starting point of a historic sequence. Over time, collectors may look back at this issue as the one that launched a new era of representation on U.S. coinage. Being first in a program frequently increases long-term desirability, especially in pristine condition. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. Most 2022p mint quarters entered circulation, meaning they quickly accumulated scratches, bag marks, and wear. However, coins preserved in mint state condition, those that never circulated, retain their original luster, sharp edges, and crisp details. Professional grading services evaluate these coins on a numerical scale, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A coin graded at the very top levels, such as mint state 67, 68, or even higher, can command substantial premiums compared to average examples. Collectors search for coins with clean fields, strong strikes, and vibrant cartwheel luster that dances under light. Even small differences in surface quality can create enormous differences in price when demand meets rarity. Another factor that adds excitement is the possibility of mint errors. Modern coins are produced in enormous quantities, and occasionally, striking errors occur. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, or wrong planchet errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. If such an error appears on a culturally significant coin like the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter, collector demand can intensify rapidly. Error coins often become the highlight of auctions, attracting bidders who appreciate both rarity and uniqueness. The combination of a respected historical figure and a rare minting anomaly can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible. Imagine discovering a pristine 2022p Maya Angelou quarter in an original mint roll, untouched since leaving the Philadelphia Mint. The surfaces gleam with brilliance. The details of Angelou's raised arms and the bird behind her remain razor-sharp. No nicks, no scratches, no dullness, just pure mint-state beauty. Now imagine that coin receiving an exceptionally high professional grade, placing it among the finest known examples. As collectors compete for top population coins, those graded at the highest level, prices can escalate dramatically. The numismatic market thrives on rarity within condition, and when only a handful of coins achieve elite grades, competition intensifies. Beyond the numbers and grading scales lies a deeper reason collectors are drawn to this coin. Maya Angelou's legacy resonates across literature, civil rights, and American culture. She was a voice of strength and dignity, and her inclusion on U.S. currency symbolizes recognition of contributions once overlooked in mainstream coinage. Coins serve as daily reminders of national identity. When a nation chooses to feature influential women, it sends a message about whose stories matter. The 2022 quarter does exactly that. It invites conversation, education, and pride. For young collectors especially, finding this coin in change can spark curiosity about who Maya Angelou was and why she is honored over the decades. Certain modern quarters once considered common have risen dramatically in value due to condition rarity or unexpected demand. While millions of 2022p quarters were minted, the number surviving in flawless condition decades from now may be far smaller. Time has a way of transforming the ordinary into the rare. Coins that pass through countless hands often disappear, become damaged, or are lost. And now we reach the thrilling part every viewer waits for: the value. While most circulated 2022p Maya Angelou quarters are worth face value, extraordinary examples in superb condition or with rare characteristics can reach astonishing heights in the collector market. In rare cases involving exceptional preservation and intense demand, a top-tier specimen has achieved a breathtaking value of $50,000. Yes, a single 25-cent coin, struck in 2022, can be worth $50,000 under the right circumstances. That is the power of condition, cultural significance, and collector passion combined into one shining piece of American history. Top 3. When you think about the most dramatic moments in American history, one image rises above the rest: a determined general standing in a small boat, cutting through icy waters on a dark winter night, leading his soldiers toward a turning point in the Revolutionary War. That powerful moment is forever captured on the 2021 Washington quarter crossing the Delaware, a coin that revived national pride and reminded collectors why modern quarters can still tell epic stories. This remarkable issue marked a transition year for the Washington Quarter series, closing one chapter and opening another. After the conclusion of the long-running America the Beautiful series, the United States Mint introduced a bold new reverse design for 2021, featuring George Washington during his daring crossing of the Delaware River in 1776. The result was a coin that instantly stood apart from ordinary pocket change. It was not just currency, it was a miniature sculpture honoring courage, leadership, and resilience in the face of impossible odds. Let us begin with the essential coin information that every serious collector wants to know. The 2021 Washington quarter crossing the Delaware carries a face value of 25 cents and continues the legacy of the Washington quarter first introduced in 1932. However, unlike previous decades that featured eagles, state designs, or national parks on the reverse, this coin presents a dynamic wartime scene. The obverse displays a refined portrait of George Washington based on an original sculpt by Laura Garden Fraser, offering a fresh yet classic interpretation of America's first president. The reverse, designed by Benjamin Sowards and sculpted by Michael Gaudioso, captures Washington gripping a telescope as he stands confidently in the bow of a boat filled with determined soldiers. The inscriptions include United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. The level of detail is extraordinary for a circulating coin, with flowing water beneath the boat and tension visible in Washington's forward stance. Now let's talk about the physical specifications that define this coin's structure. The 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, consistent with modern clad quarters minted since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, maintaining the familiar size recognized across generations. The thickness is 1.75 millimeters, giving it strength and durability for daily circulation. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel-clad format, consisting of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. When you examine the edge of the coin closely, you can see the thin copper band sandwiched between the outer layers, an unmistakable sign of modern U.S. coinage. This composition ensures resistance to wear while preserving the sharpness of its intricate design elements. This specific version bears the mint mark P, signifying it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse side of the coin near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the Philadelphia Mint mark carries importance because mintage numbers, strike quality, and preservation rates all influence future desirability. Philadelphia often produces large quantities intended for circulation, meaning most examples quickly accumulate scratches, nicks, and wear. However, coins that are preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those pulled from original mint rolls, can stand out dramatically in the marketplace. A sharply struck 2021 P crossing the Delaware quarter with brilliant mint luster and minimal contact marks becomes far more desirable than a heavily circulated counterpart. The historical inspiration behind this coin adds another layer of fascination. The crossing of the Delaware River on December 25, 1776, was one of the most daring military maneuvers in American history. Facing harsh winter weather and dwindling morale, George Washington led his troops across icy waters to launch a surprise attack in Trenton, New Jersey. That victory revitalized the revolutionary cause and proved that the Continental Army could challenge British forces. By placing this moment on a circulating quarter, the mint transformed everyday currency into a reminder of bold leadership and perseverance. Every time someone spends or receives this coin, they unknowingly hold a tribute to one of the most critical turning points in the fight for independence. Collectors often examine this coin under magnification, searching for the finest details. Washington's posture, the folds in his coat, the positioning of the telescope, and the expressions of the soldiers in the boat all reveal the craftsmanship involved in modern minting. High-grade examples display strong, crisp lines and radiant cartwheel luster that moves beautifully under light. Even the texture of the water beneath the boat can appear vividly defined in well-struck pieces. Coins graded in mint state 67 or higher by professional grading services are especially prized, as fewer examples achieve such lofty standards. The difference between a common mint state coin and a near-perfect specimen can mean thousands of dollars in value. Another thrilling aspect of modern coin collecting is the possibility of mint errors. Despite advanced technology, no minting process is completely flawless. Occasionally, coins emerge with doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other anomalies. If such an error appears on a historically significant coin like the 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter, demand can increase dramatically. Error coins create a unique blend of historical narrative and manufacturing rarity. Collectors are constantly searching bankrolls and pocket change for overlooked treasures, hoping to discover a coin that stands apart from the millions produced. What makes the 2021 issue even more interesting is its position in the timeline of U.S. coinage. It served as a transitional design before the launch of the American Women Quarters program in 2022. That means this design was only struck for a limited period, adding to its appeal. Transitional coins often gain attention because they represent the closing of one series and the bridge to another. Years from now, collectors building complete Washington quarter sets may look back at 2021 as a key milestone, a year when the design changed direction and history returned to center stage. Imagine holding a pristine 2021 P crossing the Delaware quarter, untouched since the day it left the mint. The surfaces gleam with original brilliance. The boat scene appears almost three-dimensional under proper lighting. There are no distracting marks, no dull patches, no signs of wear, only the sharp clarity of a coin preserved at the peak of its condition. Now imagine that coin being graded among the finest known examples. When collectors compete for top population coins, bidding can escalate rapidly. The rarity of condition, not just the rarity of mintage, drives modern numismatic value. As decades pass and fewer high-grade coins survive, the competition intensifies. Beyond its potential financial worth, this quarter carries emotional weight. It symbolizes determination in the face of adversity. It reminds us that even in the darkest winter nights, bold decisions can alter the course of history. For young collectors, it serves as a gateway into understanding the Revolutionary War. For seasoned numismatists, it represents the continuing evolution of American coin design. And for everyday citizens, it transforms an ordinary transaction into a subtle encounter with the past. As you examine your own coins, take a moment to check for the 2021 P mint mark. Weigh the coin if you can, 5.67 grams. Measure its diameter, 24.26 millimeters. Notice its thickness, 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper-nickel-clad composition along the edge. Look closely at Washington standing firm in the boat, and now comes the moment every collector anticipates. While most 2021 P crossing the Delaware quarters remain worth their face value in circulation, an exceptionally preserved, high-grade specimen with outstanding eye appeal has achieved an astonishing value of $30,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a remarkable $30,000 under the right circumstances. That is the extraordinary power of history, rarity, and condition combined into one small yet mighty piece of American coinage. Top 4. There are moments in history when courage rises above limitation, when a single individual dares to step beyond barriers and rewrite what is possible. The 2023 Washington Quarter honoring Bessie Coleman captures exactly that spirit in metal. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter resting quietly among your change, but the story it carries is anything but ordinary. This coin celebrates Bessie Coleman, the first African American and first Native American woman to earn a pilot's license, a woman who refused to let discrimination define her destiny. When the United States Mint released this design as part of the American Women Quarters program, it once again transformed everyday currency into a moving tribute to determination and vision. Holding this coin feels like holding a symbol of flight itself, of ambition lifting off the ground and soaring into history. Let us begin with the essential coin information collectors carefully study. The 2023 Washington Quarter featuring Bessie Coleman continues the long-standing Washington Quarter denomination that began in 1932. The obverse side presents the refined portrait of George Washington based on Laura Garden Fraser's historic design, bringing a dignified and slightly modernized look to America's first president. The reverse, however, is where this coin truly takes flight. Bessie Coleman is shown in her aviator attire, gazing upward with confidence and determination, while a stylized airplane arcs across the sky behind her. The inscriptions include Bessie Coleman, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. Every detail on the reverse speaks to motion, aspiration, and fearless ambition. This coin is not merely currency, it is a reminder that the sky is never the limit for those brave enough to pursue their dreams. Now let us explore the precise physical specifications that define this coin's structure and authenticity. The 2023 P. Bessie Coleman Quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, maintaining consistency with modern clad quarters produced since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, ensuring it fits seamlessly into coin albums, vending machines, and collectors' holders alike. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, providing the durability necessary for circulation while preserving intricate design details. The coin's composition is copper-nickel clad, consisting of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. If you look closely at the edge of the coin, you can see the distinct copper stripe sandwiched between the silvery outer layers, confirming its modern clad structure. These measurements and materials are not random, they represent decades of engineering designed to balance strength, cost efficiency, and aesthetic appeal. This particular version bears the mint mark P, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse side near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the presence of the P mint mark is significant because mintage totals and strike quality from different facilities can influence long-term desirability. Philadelphia often produces large quantities for circulation, meaning most examples quickly enter everyday use. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those taken directly from mint rolls, can retain their original brilliance and sharpness. A 2023 P. Bessie Coleman Quarter with full luster, clean fields, and crisp design details stands far above a worn example pulled from years of circulation. The artistry of the reverse design deserves careful admiration. Bessie Coleman's upward gaze symbolizes aspiration and courage, reflecting her journey from humble beginnings to becoming a licensed pilot at a time when opportunities for women of color were almost non-existent. The airplane depicted behind her represents not just flight, but freedom and progress. The design captures motion within a still image, making the coin feel alive with energy. Under magnification, collectors can appreciate the fine lines in her aviator uniform, the subtle contours of her expression, and the graceful arc of the aircraft. Modern minting technology allows for remarkable precision, and in high-grade examples, these details appear razor-sharp and beautifully defined. Condition plays an enormous role in determining a coin's value. Most 2023 quarters circulate widely, accumulating scratches, contact marks, and dull surfaces over time. But coins preserved immediately after release, especially those stored carefully in protective holders, can remain in mint state condition. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a numerical scale, with higher numbers indicating superior preservation. A coin graded mint state 67, 68, or even higher becomes increasingly scarce, as fewer examples achieve such pristine status. The combination of historical importance and top-tier condition creates strong demand among collectors seeking the finest known specimens. Another factor that adds excitement to modern coin collecting is the possibility of mint errors. Despite advanced production technology, occasional striking anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet irregularities can turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after rarity. If such an error appears on a culturally significant coin like the 2023 Bessie Coleman quarter, interest can intensify dramatically. Error collectors often search bankrolls and pocket change hoping to uncover these hidden treasures. The thrill of discovery keeps the hobby alive, proving that extraordinary finds can still emerge from everyday circulation. The historical context of this coin deepens its significance. Bessie Coleman's story is one of resilience against barriers of race and gender. Denied entry into American flight schools, she traveled to France to earn her pilot's license in 1921. Upon returning to the United States, she performed in air shows, inspiring countless people with her skill and bravery. By honoring her on circulating coinage, the nation acknowledges her legacy and ensures her story reaches new generations. Coins are small but powerful storytellers. They pass through millions of hands, silently carrying history forward. From a collector's perspective, the 2023 issue also holds importance as part of the ongoing American Women Quarters program. Being among the early releases in a multi-year series adds to its appeal. Collectors assembling full program sets will always need the Bessie Coleman quarter, and those seeking high-grade examples may compete fiercely for top population coins. Over time, as circulated examples become worn or lost, pristine survivors may stand out even more sharply in the marketplace. Imagine discovering a flawless 2023 P. Bessie Coleman quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. The surfaces shimmer with original cartwheel luster. The edges remain sharp. The airplane behind her appears crisp and bold. No distracting marks interrupt the design. Such a coin, once graded at the highest levels, can become a centerpiece in a modern collection. Condition rarity often drives dramatic price increases, especially when collector demand intersects with limited numbers of top-grade examples. As you check your own change, pay close attention. Look for the P mint mark. Weigh the coin if possible, 5.67 grams. Measure its diameter, 24.26 millimeters. Notice its thickness, 1.75 millimeters. Examine the copper nickel-clad edge. Study the details of Bessie Coleman's portrait and the aircraft behind her. Because sometimes, what appears to be ordinary change can carry extraordinary potential. Time has a way of transforming modern coins into future rarities, especially when preserved with care, and now we arrive at the moment every viewer has been waiting for. While most 2023 P. Bessie Coleman quarters remain worth their face value in circulation, an exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with remarkable eye appeal has reached an astonishing value of $20,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a breathtaking $20,000 under the right conditions. That is the incredible power of history, inspiration, rarity, and condition combined into one small but mighty piece of American coinage. Top 5. Sometimes history does not whisper, it launches. It rises on pillars of fire, breaks through gravity, and changes the direction of a nation forever. That same spirit of exploration and courage is captured in the 2022 Washington quarter honoring Drive Sally ride. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter resting quietly in your palm, but this coin carries the story of the first American woman to travel into space. It represents science, bravery, intelligence, and the boundless human desire to explore beyond the known horizon. When the United States Mint released this design as part of the American Women Quarters program, it transformed ordinary pocket change into a tribute to space exploration and groundbreaking achievement. Every detail on this coin feels purposeful, reminding us that even something as small as a quarter can carry a story as vast as the universe. Let us begin with the core coin information that every collector and enthusiast wants to understand clearly. The 2022 Washington quarter featuring Drive Sally Ride continues the long-standing Washington quarter denomination first introduced in 1932. The obverse side features the dignified portrait of George Washington based on Laura Garden Fraser's historic design, offering a refreshed and elegant look that differs slightly from earlier decades. The inscriptions include Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the year 2022. The reverse side is where this coin truly becomes extraordinary. Dr. Sally Ride is depicted next to the window of a space shuttle, gazing toward Earth with focus and determination. Behind her, stars and the curvature of our planet emphasize her historic journey beyond the atmosphere. The inscriptions include United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, $quarter, and Dr. Sally Ride. This design is more than an image, it is a celebration of science, education, and courage in the face of the unknown. Now let us explore the physical specifications that define the structure and authenticity of this remarkable coin. The 2022 P Dr. Sally Ride quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams, consistent with modern clad quarters minted since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, maintaining the familiar size that fits comfortably in coin albums and everyday transactions alike. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, giving the coin both durability and a solid feel in the hand. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel clad format. This means the outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. When viewed from the edge, you can see the thin copper stripe sandwiched between the silvery outer layers, a signature feature of modern U.S. coinage. These exact measurements and materials are carefully engineered to ensure longevity, strength, and clarity of design detail. This particular version carries the mint mark P, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the presence of the P mint mark matters because each mint can produce coins with slightly different strike characteristics and mintage totals. Philadelphia often strikes large quantities for general circulation, meaning most examples of this coin quickly entered daily commerce. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those taken directly from fresh mint rolls, can retain their original luster and sharpness. A well-preserved 2022 P Dr. Sally Ride quarter with brilliant surfaces and minimal contact marks becomes significantly more desirable than one worn down by years of use. The artistry on the reverse side deserves special attention. Dr. Sally Ride's expression conveys calm intelligence and fearless determination. The space shuttle window frames her portrait, symbolizing both the boundary and the gateway between Earth and the vastness of space. The stars in the background create depth and remind us of her historic 1983 mission aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. This coin captures not only her likeness but also the broader idea of human exploration. Under magnification, collectors can appreciate the fine lines in her features, the detail within the shuttle structure, and the smooth, clean fields that surround the design. High-quality strikes display crisp edges and well-defined lettering, which are essential characteristics for top-grade specimens. Condition is everything in modern coin collecting. Most 2022 quarters circulated widely, accumulating small scratches, bag marks, and surface wear. But coins that remain in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, preserve their radiant cartwheel luster and sharp detail. Professional grading services evaluate these coins on a numerical scale, with higher numbers indicating superior preservation. A coin graded mint state 67, 68, or above becomes increasingly rare because only a limited number of coins achieve such pristine status. Collectors often compete intensely for the finest known examples, driving values upward as demand exceeds the supply of top-grade specimens. Another thrilling possibility lies in mint errors. Even with modern technology, occasional striking anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other production irregularities can transform an ordinary coin into a sought-after rarity. If such an error appears on a historically significant coin like the Dr. Sally Ride quarter, collector interest can surge dramatically. Error collectors carefully examine coins under magnification, searching for subtle variations that might distinguish one coin from millions of others. The excitement of discovering a rare error in everyday change continues to fuel the passion of the numismatic community. The historical importance of this coin extends beyond its metal composition. Dr. Sally Ride became the first American woman in space in 1983, inspiring countless young people, especially girls, to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. By placing her on circulating coinage, the nation ensures that her story reaches future generations. Coins pass through millions of hands each day. They are silent teachers, small ambassadors of history traveling from person to person. The 2022 Dr. Sally Ride Quarter reminds us that exploration is not limited by gender, and that curiosity can propel humanity beyond earthly limits. Collectors also recognize the significance of this coin within the broader American Women Quarters program. Being among the early releases in this multi-year series enhances its long-term importance. As years pass and collectors build complete sets, high-grade examples of the Dr. Sally Ride Quarter may become more difficult to find. Circulated pieces will continue to wear down, while pristine survivors preserved from the start may stand out sharply in the marketplace. The combination of cultural relevance, historical firsts, and strong collector demand often lays the groundwork for future value appreciation. Imagine discovering a flawless 2022 Dr. Sally Ride Quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. Its surfaces shimmer under light. The details in her portrait remain razor-sharp. The stars behind her appear crisp and clean. There are no distracting marks, no dull patches, no signs of wear. Such a coin, when professionally graded at the highest levels, becomes a standout example. In the world of coin collecting, condition rarity can transform a modern circulating coin into a major numismatic prize. As you examine your own coins, take a closer look at any 2022 quarters you find. Check for the P mint mark. Confirm the weight of 5.67 grams if possible. Measure the diameter of 24.26 millimeters. Note the thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper-nickel-clad composition along the edge. Study the reverse design carefully. Because sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize their potential. And now we come to the moment everyone anticipates. While most 2022 Dr. Sally Ride Quarters remain worth their face value in circulation, an exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with outstanding eye appeal and strong collector demand has achieved an astonishing value of $40,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a remarkable $40,000 under the right circumstances. That is the extraordinary power of history, inspiration, rarity, and condition combined into one small yet powerful piece of American coinage. Top 6. When the United States Mint launched the 50-state quarters program in 1999, few people could have predicted how dramatically it would transform coin collecting in America. What began as a simple commemorative idea quickly became a nationwide treasure hunt. Families searched their change jars, children filled coin maps, and collectors rushed to banks asking for fresh rolls. Among the 50 designs released between 1999 and 2008, the 2007 Montana State Quarter holds a special place. It captures the rugged beauty of Big Sky country and freezes it forever in metal. At first glance, it may look like just another quarter, but look closer and you will see a powerful bison standing proudly before the outline of Montana, with the inscription Big Sky Country stretching above. This is not just currency, it is a tribute to wide open plains, towering mountains, and the untamed spirit of the American West. Let us begin with the essential coin information that defines this issue. The 2007 Montana State Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program and represents the 41st state admitted to the Union. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 2007. The reverse displays a majestic American bison skull and full figure set against the outline of the state of Montana. The words Montana and Big Sky Country boldly frame the design, along with E pluribus unum. The imagery reflects Montana's frontier heritage, wildlife, and expansive landscapes. This coin entered circulation in 2007, instantly becoming a favorite among collectors due to its bold Western symbolism and striking visual impact. Now let us explore the physical specifications that confirm its authenticity and structure. The 2007 Montana quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams, consistent with modern clad quarters minted since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, the standard size recognized across generations of American coinage. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, giving the coin durability for everyday use while maintaining sharp design details. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel clad format, consisting of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. If you examine the edge carefully, you will see the thin copper stripe running between the silvery outer layers, a defining feature of modern U.S. quarters. These specifications ensure both longevity in circulation and clarity in the coin's intricate design elements. This specific version carries the mint mark P, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the P mint mark matters because each mint facility can produce coins with slightly different strike characteristics and total mintage figures. Philadelphia typically produces large numbers intended for circulation, meaning most examples quickly entered everyday transactions. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, particularly those saved in original mint rolls, can retain brilliant luster and crisp detail. A well-preserved 2007 P Montana quarter with strong strike quality and minimal contact marks becomes far more desirable than one worn down through years of handling. The design of the reverse deserves careful admiration. The American bison stands powerfully before the state outline, symbolizing strength, endurance, and Montana's deep connection to wildlife and frontier history. The phrase Big Sky Country captures the essence of Montana's vast open landscapes and endless horizons. Under magnification, collectors can appreciate the fine texture in the bison's fur, the precision of the lettering, and the smooth fields surrounding the central image. High-quality strikes reveal sharp edges and bold detail, especially in the contours of the state outline and the definition of the animal's features. Coins that display full luster, often described as a cartwheel effect when tilted under light, are especially prized in higher grades. Condition plays an enormous role in determining value. While millions of Montana quarters were minted, most entered circulation and accumulated scratches, nicks, and surface wear over time. Coins that remain in mint state condition preserve their original brilliance and sharpness. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using a numerical scale, and examples graded mint state 67, 68, or higher are significantly scarcer than lower-grade pieces. The difference between a common uncirculated coin and a top population specimen can be dramatic in the marketplace. Collectors seeking the finest known examples often compete intensely, driving prices upward. Another exciting factor in modern coin collecting is the possibility of mint errors. Despite advanced minting technology, occasional anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet irregularities can transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. If such an error appears on a popular design like the Montana quarter, collector interest can surge rapidly. Many enthusiasts search through bankrolls and pocket change hoping to uncover hidden treasures that others have overlooked. The thrill of discovery keeps the hobby vibrant and unpredictable. The Montana quarter also carries historical importance within the broader 50-state quarters program. That program remains one of the most successful commemorative coin initiatives in U.S. history, sparking renewed interest in numismatics nationwide. For many young collectors, state quarters were their first introduction to coin collecting. The Montana design, with its bold Western imagery, stands out among the series. As years pass and circulated examples become increasingly worn, pristine survivors preserved from the start may gain added attention from collectors building complete high-grade sets. Imagine discovering a flawless 2007 P Montana quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. Its surfaces gleam under light. The bison appears crisp and sharply defined. The lettering remains bold and clean. No distracting marks interrupt the smooth fields. Such a coin, when professionally graded at the highest levels, becomes a standout piece in a modern collection. Condition rarity often determines market value, and as fewer top-grade coins survive, competition intensifies. As you check your own change, look carefully for the 2007 Montana quarter. Confirm the P mint mark. Weigh it if possible, 5.67 grams. Measure its diameter, 24.26 millimeters. Note the thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper-nickel clad composition along the edge. Study the details of the bison and the state outline. Because sometimes the most remarkable finds are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize their potential, and now we arrive at the moment everyone anticipates. While most 2007 P Montana state quarters remain worth their face value in circulation and exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with extraordinary eye appeal and strong collector demand has reached an astonishing value of $82,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a breathtaking $82,000 under the right circumstances. That is the incredible power of rarity, condition, history, and collector passion combined into one small but powerful piece of American coinage. Top 7. In 1999, something extraordinary began in the world of American coinage. The United States Mint launched the historic 50 State Quarters program, a series that would ignite a nationwide collecting frenzy and reintroduce millions of Americans to the excitement of searching through pocket change. Among the very first 5 coins released that year was the Connecticut State Quarter, a design that instantly stood out for its elegance, symbolism, and deep historical roots. At first glance, it may look like a simple quarter, but when you hold the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter in your hand, you are holding a tribute to resilience, independence, and one of the most iconic trees in American history. This coin represents not just a state, but a story that stretches back to colonial times and echoes through the founding of a nation. Let us begin with the essential coin information that defines this issue. The 1999 Connecticut State Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program and represents Connecticut as the 5th state admitted to the Union on January 9, 1788. The obverse side features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan, along with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1999. The reverse showcases the famous charter oak tree, a powerful symbol of Connecticut's colonial history. Above the tree appears the word Connecticut, along with the date 1788, marking the year of statehood, and the inscription E pluribus unum. The design honors the legendary oak tree in which colonists are said to have hidden the Royal Charter of 1662 to prevent it from being seized by British authorities. This act of defiance symbolized the spirit of self-governance that would later define the American Revolution. Now let us explore the physical specifications that confirm the authenticity and structure of this remarkable coin. The 1999 Connecticut quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, consistent with modern clad quarters produced since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, the standard size for U.S. quarters, making it instantly recognizable in circulation. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, providing durability while preserving the clarity of the intricate design. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel clad format. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. If you look closely at the edge, you can see the thin copper stripe between the silvery outer layers, a defining feature of modern U.S. coinage. These precise measurements and materials ensure that the coin maintains its structural integrity even after years of circulation. This specific version carries the mint mark P, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the Philadelphia Mint mark is significant because mintage numbers, strike quality, and survival rates all influence long-term value. Philadelphia typically produces large quantities of coins for general circulation, meaning most 1999 Connecticut quarters quickly entered everyday use. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those taken directly from fresh mint rolls, can retain their original luster and sharpness. A well-preserved 1999 Connecticut quarter with bright surfaces and minimal contact marks becomes far more desirable than a heavily worn example found in loose change. The artistry of the reverse design deserves careful appreciation. The Charter oak tree is rendered with impressive detail, its branches spreading wide and strong, symbolizing stability and endurance. Under magnification, collectors can observe the fine lines in the tree's bark and the delicate shaping of its leaves. The lettering surrounding the design remains bold and clean in higher-grade examples. Coins struck with strong detail and full luster exhibit what collectors call the cartwheel effect, a radiant shine that moves across the surface when tilted under light. These characteristics are especially important when evaluating a coin's grade and overall appeal. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. While millions of 1999 Connecticut quarters were minted, the vast majority circulated heavily, accumulating scratches, bag marks, and wear over time. Coins that remain in mint state condition preserve their original brilliance and crisp design details. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using a numerical scale, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A coin graded mint state 67 or higher becomes significantly scarcer than lower grade examples. Collectors seeking top population coins, those graded at the highest levels, often compete intensely, which can drive prices dramatically higher. Another exciting possibility lies in mint errors. Even with modern minting technology, occasional anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet irregularities can transform an ordinary quarter into a highly sought-after rarity. If such an error appears on an early state quarter issue like the 1999 Connecticut design, collector interest can increase substantially. Many enthusiasts search through rolls of quarters hoping to uncover these hidden treasures. The thrill of discovering an overlooked rarity continues to fuel the passion of coin collectors across the country. The 1999 Connecticut quarter also holds special importance because it was among the first releases of the 50 State Quarters program. Being part of the inaugural year gives it historical significance within the series. When the program began, millions of Americans who had never collected coins before suddenly became engaged. Children filled maps with each state quarter. Families saved complete sets. Banks struggled to keep up with demand for new releases. The Connecticut quarter played a role in that cultural moment, marking the start of one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. Imagine discovering a flawless 1999 Connecticut quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. Its surfaces shimmer with original mint luster. The Charter oak appears crisp and sharply defined. The lettering is bold and undisturbed. No distracting marks interrupt the smooth fields. Such a coin, when professionally graded at the highest levels, becomes a standout piece in any modern collection. Over time, as circulated examples become worn or lost, pristine survivors may grow increasingly scarce. Condition rarity often determines dramatic price differences in the numismatic marketplace. As you examine your own change, look carefully for the 1999 Connecticut quarter. Confirm the P mint mark. If possible, weigh it to ensure it measures 5.67 grams. Check its diameter of 24.26 millimeters and thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper nickel-clad edge. Study the fine details of the Charter oak tree. Because sometimes, extraordinary value hides in coins that many people overlook. Time has a way of transforming everyday currency into prized collectibles, especially when preserved with care, and now we arrive at the moment every collector waits for. While most 1999 Connecticut state quarters remain worth their face value in circulation and exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with outstanding eye appeal and strong collector demand has achieved an astonishing value of $117,000. Yes, A single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a breathtaking $117,000 under the right circumstances. That is the incredible power of rarity, condition, history, and collector passion combined into one small yet extraordinary piece of American coinage. Top 8. In 2010, the United States Mint opened a brand new chapter in modern coinage, shifting from the wildly successful 50-state quarters program to something even more expansive and visually dramatic. This new journey was called the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and it would highlight national parks and historic sites across the country. The very first coin released in that inspiring series was the 2010 Hot Springs Quarter, honoring Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary quarter resting in your change, but when you truly study it, you realize you are holding a tribute to one of America's oldest protected landscapes. The 2010 Hot Springs Quarter represents history, natural beauty, and a tradition of preservation that dates back to the 19th century. It is not simply currency, it is a miniature monument carved in metal. Let us begin with the essential coin information that defines this issue. The 2010 Hot Springs Quarter carries the standard Washington quarter denomination of 25 cents and marks the first release in the America the Beautiful series. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, based on John Flanagan's original 1932 design, accompanied by the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year 2010. The reverse design showcases the historic facade of the Hot Springs National Park headquarters building, framed by a fountain in the foreground and lush trees in the background. The inscriptions include Hot Springs, Arkansas, 2010, and E Pluribus Unum. This powerful architectural design captures both the elegance of the historic bathhouses and the serene environment that made Hot Springs famous for generations. Now let us examine the precise physical specifications that confirm the authenticity and structure of this coin. The 2010 Hot Springs Quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, maintaining consistency with modern clad quarters produced since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, the standard size recognized throughout the United States. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, providing durability while preserving intricate design details. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel clad format. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. If you look closely at the edge, you will notice the distinct copper stripe between the silvery outer layers, a defining feature of modern U.S. coinage. These carefully engineered specifications ensure the coin can withstand years of circulation without losing its structural integrity. This particular version bears the mint mark P, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the P mint mark is important because mintage totals, strike characteristics, and preservation rates can influence long-term desirability. Philadelphia typically produces large quantities intended for circulation, meaning most 2010 Hot Springs quarters entered daily commerce quickly. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those taken directly from mint rolls, can retain brilliant luster and crisp design detail. A well-preserved 2010 P Hot Springs quarter with clean surfaces and strong strike quality stands out significantly compared to worn examples. The artistry of the reverse design deserves careful appreciation. The depiction of the Hot Springs headquarters building captures the grandeur of early 20th century architecture. The fountain in front symbolizes the flowing thermal waters that made the location famous for its healing properties. Under magnification, collectors can observe the fine lines in the building's columns, the symmetry of the structure, and the delicate details in the surrounding landscape. Coins with strong strikes display sharp lettering and well-defined architectural features. When tilted under light, high-grade examples exhibit a radiant cartwheel luster that enhances the beauty of the design. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. While millions of 2010 Hot Springs quarters were minted, most circulated heavily, accumulating scratches, contact marks, and general wear. Coins that remain in mint state condition preserve their original brilliance and sharpness. Professional grading services evaluate these coins on a numerical scale, and examples graded mint state 67, 68, or higher are far scarcer than lower grade pieces. The difference between a common uncirculated coin and a top population specimen can be dramatic in the marketplace. Collectors seeking the finest known examples often compete intensely, driving prices upward when supply is limited. Another exciting factor in modern coin collecting is the possibility of mint errors. Even with advanced production methods, occasional striking anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet irregularities can transform an ordinary quarter into a rare collectible. If such an error appears on the first release of the America the Beautiful series, collector demand can rise quickly. Many enthusiasts search through bankrolls and pocket change hoping to discover hidden treasures that others have overlooked. The thrill of finding a rare error coin continues to energize the hobby. The 2010 Hot Springs Quarter also holds historical importance because it launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Being the first issue in a long-running series gives it added significance among collectors. Whenever a new series begins, the inaugural coin often gains recognition over time. As years pass and circulated examples become worn or lost, pristine survivors preserved from the start may grow increasingly scarce. Collectors building complete high-grade sets of the America the Beautiful series will always need the Hot Springs Quarter as the foundation of their collection. Imagine discovering a flawless 2010p Hot Springs Quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. Its surfaces shimmer under light. The building appears crisp and sharply defined. The fountain and surrounding details remain bold and clean. No distracting marks interrupt the smooth fields. Such a coin, when professionally graded at the highest levels, becomes a centerpiece in a modern collection. Condition rarity often determines dramatic price differences, especially when demand from collectors exceeds the supply of top-grade examples. As you examine your own change, take a closer look at any 2010 quarters you find. Confirm the P mint mark. If possible, weigh the coin to ensure it measures 5.67 grams. Check its diameter of 24.26 millimeters and thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper-nickel-clad edge. Study the architectural details of the Hot Springs design. Because sometimes extraordinary value hides in coins that many people overlook. Time has a way of transforming modern circulating coins into prized collectibles, particularly when preserved in exceptional condition, and now we arrive at the moment every collector anticipates. While most 2010p Hot Springs quarters remain worth their face value in circulation, an exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with outstanding eye appeal and strong collector demand has achieved an astonishing value of $70,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a breathtaking $70,000 under the right circumstances. That is the remarkable power of rarity, condition, history, and collector passion combined into one small yet extraordinary piece of American coinage. Top 9. There are certain moments in American history that echo far beyond their time, moments of struggle, determination, and ultimate turning points that shape the destiny of a nation. The 2011 Vicksburg, Washington quarter captures one of those powerful chapters and preserves it forever in metal. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter resting quietly among your loose change, but when you truly study it, you realize you are holding a tribute to Vicksburg National Military Park in Mississippi, a site that marks one of the most decisive campaigns of the Civil War. This coin is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series designed to honor national parks and historic sites across the country. With its detailed imagery and historical depth, the 2011 Vicksburg quarter transforms everyday currency into a small but meaningful monument. Let us begin with the essential coin information that defines this issue. The 2011 Vicksburg quarter carries the standard Washington quarter denomination of 25 cents and is one of 5 designs released in 2011 under the America the Beautiful program. The obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932, along with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year 2011. The reverse design is both striking and symbolic. It depicts the USS Cairo, a Civil War ironclad gunboat that was sunk during the Vicksburg campaign and later recovered as a historic artifact. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions Vicksburg, Mississippi, 2011, and E Pluribus Unum. The detailed representation of the ironclad ship pays tribute to naval innovation and the strategic importance of the Mississippi River during the war. Now let us explore the precise physical specifications that confirm the structure and authenticity of this coin. The 2011 Vicksburg quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, maintaining consistency with modern clad quarters minted since 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, the standard size recognized across the United States. The thickness stands at 1.75 millimeters, ensuring durability while preserving the clarity of the intricate reverse design. In terms of composition, the coin is struck in a copper-nickel clad format. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. If you examine the edge closely, you will notice the thin copper stripe between the silvery outer layers, a defining characteristic of modern U.S. quarters. These exact measurements and materials ensure the coin remains sturdy even after years of circulation. This particular version carries the mint mark P, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint mark appears on the obverse near Washington's portrait. For collectors, the P mint mark is significant because mintage numbers, strike quality, and survival rates can influence long-term value. Philadelphia typically produces large quantities for general circulation, meaning most 2011 Vicksburg quarters quickly entered everyday transactions. However, coins preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those removed directly from original mint rolls, can retain their brilliant luster and sharp detail. A well-preserved 2011 P Vicksburg quarter with clean surfaces and strong strike definition stands out dramatically compared to worn examples that have spent years in circulation. The artistry of the reverse design deserves careful admiration. The USS Cairo is rendered with impressive precision, showcasing the armored plating and structural detail of the ironclad vessel. Under magnification, collectors can observe the fine lines of the ship's construction, the crispness of the lettering, and the smooth fields surrounding the central image. High-quality strikes display sharp edges and bold detail, particularly in the hull and upper structures of the ship. Coins that retain full mint luster exhibit the captivating cartwheel effect, where light reflects in a circular motion when the coin is tilted. This brilliance enhances the dramatic presence of the design. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. While millions of 2011 Vicksburg quarters were minted, most circulated widely, accumulating scratches, contact marks, and general wear over time. Coins that remain in mint state condition preserve their original brilliance and crisp detail. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using a numerical scale, and examples graded mint state 67, 68, or higher are far scarcer than lower-grade pieces. The difference between a typical uncirculated coin and a top population specimen can be extraordinary in the marketplace. Collectors seeking the finest known examples often compete intensely, pushing prices to impressive heights. Another exciting possibility lies in mint errors. Despite advanced minting technology, occasional anomalies occur. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet irregularities can transform an ordinary coin into a sought-after rarity. If such an error appears on a historically significant design like the Vicksburg quarter, collector demand can increase dramatically. Many enthusiasts search through rolls of quarters hoping to uncover overlooked treasures. The thrill of discovering a rare mint error keeps the hobby vibrant and unpredictable. The 2011 Vicksburg quarter also holds historical importance within the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Each coin in this series honors a national park or historic site, but Vicksburg carries unique weight because of its Civil War significance. The fall of Vicksburg in 1863 gave the Union control of the Mississippi River, effectively splitting the Confederacy and marking a turning point in the war. By placing the USS Cairo on circulating coinage, the mint ensures that this pivotal moment remains part of everyday American life. Coins pass through millions of hands, quietly educating and reminding people of the nation's past. Imagine discovering a flawless 2011 Vicksburg quarter preserved since the day it left the mint. Its surfaces shimmer under light. The ironclad ship appears crisp and sharply defined. The lettering remains bold and clean. No distracting marks interrupt the smooth fields. Such a coin, when professionally graded at the highest levels, becomes a centerpiece in a modern collection. Over time, as circulated examples become increasingly worn or lost, pristine survivors may grow more scarce. Condition rarity often determines dramatic price differences in the numismatic marketplace. As you examine your own change, take a closer look at any 2011 quarters you find. Confirm the P mint mark. If possible, weigh the coin to ensure it measures 5.67 grams. Check its diameter of 24.26 millimeters and thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Observe the copper-nickel-clad edge. Study the intricate details of the USS Cairo design. Because sometimes extraordinary value hides in coins that many people overlook. Time has a way of transforming modern circulating coins into prized collectibles, especially when preserved in exceptional condition. And now we arrive at the moment every collector anticipates. While most 2011 Vicksburg quarters remain worth their face value in circulation, an exceptionally preserved, high-grade example with outstanding eye appeal and strong collector demand has achieved an astonishing value of $67,000. Yes, a single quarter originally worth just 25 cents can rise to a breathtaking $67,000 under the right circumstances. That is the remarkable power of rarity, condition, history, and collector passion combined into one small yet extraordinary piece of American coinage. Top 10. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine holding a single quarter in your hand, a coin so ordinary in everyday life yet so extraordinary in its story that it connects you to rockets bursting in air, to the courage of defenders standing against a powerful navy, and to a song that would one day become the heartbeat of a nation. Today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and patriotic quarters ever struck by the United States of America, the 2013 Fort McHenry quarter, a remarkable issue in the America the Beautiful series that honors one of the most historic places in the country. This is not just a piece of copper and nickel, this is a miniature monument, a pocket-sized tribute to bravery, history, and artistic excellence. As we unfold its secrets, you will discover its specifications, its design story, its mint mark, its weight, its diameter, its composition, and the surprising value that has made collectors search through rolls and pocket change with renewed excitement and hope. The 2013 Fort McHenry quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which followed the success of the State Quarters series and continued the tradition of celebrating important locations across the United States. This specific coin honors Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine in Maryland, the very site that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what would become the national anthem of the United States during the War of 1812. The obverse of the coin carries the familiar and dignified portrait of George Washington, based on the classic design by John Flanagan that has graced quarters since 1932, though slightly modified for the modern era. The reverse is where the story truly comes alive, showing the powerful image of the rocket's red glare, with a massive burst of fireworks in the sky above Fort McHenry, symbolizing the bombardment that took place in 1814. It is a design that instantly commands attention and emotion, reminding every viewer that freedom was defended here with courage and sacrifice. Let us now talk about the precise coin information that collectors care about deeply. This quarter has a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a measurement that ensures consistency across circulating coinage and aligns with the specifications set by the United States Mint. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it that familiar, comfortable size that fits perfectly between your fingers. The thickness of the coin is 1.75 millimeters, providing the solid, sturdy feel that we associate with modern clad quarters. The composition of the coin follows the standard modern quarter formula, a core of pure copper sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel, specifically 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel in the outer cladding. This layered structure not only gives the coin durability but also produces the attractive silvery appearance on the surface while revealing a distinct copper edge when viewed from the side. The mint mark on the version we are discussing today is the letter P, indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic minting facilities in the nation. When we look closely at the obverse design, we see George Washington facing left, his profile calm yet commanding, with inscriptions that include United States of America, Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and $quarter. The updated portrait used in the America the Beautiful series restores some of the original details from the early Flanagan design, giving Washington a sharper and more classical appearance. The mint mark P is located to the right of Washington's ponytail, a small yet crucial detail for collectors who carefully examine every coin under magnification. The edge of the coin features reading, those evenly spaced grooves that not only add aesthetic texture but also historically prevented the shaving of precious metal from coins in earlier centuries. Every tiny detail on this quarter was carefully considered to maintain tradition while celebrating modern artistry. Turning to the reverse, the Fort McHenry design is one of the most dramatic in the entire America the Beautiful series. The massive firework explosion dominates the sky above the fort, symbolizing the rockets fired during the British bombardment. The fort itself appears sturdy and unyielding beneath the glowing burst, representing resilience and determination. Inscriptions on the reverse include Fort McHenry, Maryland, 2013, and E Pluribus Unum. The artistry captures both motion and emotion, freezing a historic night of battle into a single timeless image. When light reflects off the coin's surface, especially in uncirculated condition, the explosion almost appears alive, as if the sparks are still flying through the night sky. Collectors often ask about mintage numbers and production details, and while millions of these quarters were struck for circulation, not all coins are created equal. Condition is everything in the world of numismatics. A well-preserved example with sharp details, strong luster, and no visible contact marks can command a significantly higher premium than a heavily circulated coin. Errors and varieties also play a crucial role in determining value. Occasionally, coins may exhibit striking errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, each of which can dramatically increase desirability among collectors. The Philadelphia Mint is known for high production volumes, but within those volumes, rare and exceptional pieces can emerge, and it is those pieces that spark excitement in the collecting community. The America the Beautiful series itself represents a continuation of America's storytelling through coinage. Just as the State Quarters program once inspired millions to start collecting, this series encourages people to explore national parks and historic sites. The Fort McHenry quarter, in particular, resonates strongly because it ties directly to the creation of the national anthem. When Francis Scott Key observed the American flag still flying after the bombardment, it became a symbol of hope and perseverance. That same spirit is captured in the coin's design, making it not only a collectible item but also a patriotic keepsake that carries emotional weight far beyond its face value of 25 cents. Now imagine discovering one of these quarters in brilliant uncirculated condition, perhaps tucked away in a mint roll or preserved carefully in a collector's album. The coin's surfaces gleam with original mint luster, the details crisp and untouched by circulation. In higher grades certified by professional grading services, such coins can reach astonishing values compared to their modest face value. The combination of historical significance, artistic appeal, and pristine condition transforms this small piece of metal into a treasured artifact. Even though billions of quarters circulate each year, the pursuit of perfection in grade makes certain examples incredibly desirable. Beyond its physical specifications, the Fort McHenry quarter represents a bridge between past and present. It connects modern Americans with the events of 1814, reminding us that freedom was defended under the glow of rockets and cannon fire. Every time this quarter changes hands, it carries that story forward. For collectors, the thrill lies not only in the coin's design but also in the hunt itself. Searching bankrolls, examining change, and studying mint records all become part of a larger adventure. The knowledge that a seemingly ordinary coin could hold extraordinary value adds excitement to every discovery. As we approach the final and most thrilling part of our journey, let us talk about the value that has captured so much attention. While most circulated examples remain worth face value, exceptional specimens in top certified condition or rare error varieties have reached astonishing prices at auction. The most remarkable examples of the 2013 Fort McHenry P. Quarter have been known to reach values as high as $61,000. Think about that for a moment, a coin originally worth just 25 cents transforming into $61,000 because of its condition, rarity, and collector demand. That is the magic of numismatics, where history, artistry, and scarcity combine to create extraordinary worth. And if you have this coin in your collection or believe you might have a rare quarter hiding in your pocket change, do not keep the mystery to yourself. Comment below about your own coins so we can provide information and help you understand what treasures you might be holding. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment to stay connected with more incredible coin stories. And do not forget to like this video if you love discovering the hidden value in everyday change. Your next quarter could be a piece of history, a patriotic symbol, and perhaps even a treasure worth $61,000.